All right, welcome. This is Sherry Bowers with Connected Spirit, and I have DaKara Kies with me today, and for our wonderful winter New Year's spotlight for 2023. We just wanted to talk a little bit. I wanted to have DaKara on so I could share, and she could share with you what her gift is and that she has available for everybody, and just some of the wonderful things that she does, and we'll just go from there. But so to start off with, like, you and I have been in the same circles. You've been in my world for a long time, but for the people that don't know you, how did you get started? Tell us a little bit about your journey to what you do, and
I'll give kind of a little peanut nutshell because I've been realm and energy work since the early 90s. So, over 25 years I'm not going to try to do math right now, but for quite a while. So initially my journey started with a health issue. And then, the answers started showing up, and I ended up leaving a corporate job and so on and so forth and helping others. And that was kind of my mission. And then at times I went back and, had to do some other form of work to bring in income. But over time, and then I was thinking earlier today, I think it was about 2008, where I was introduced to writing checks at the new moon with your intention. And I had been studying, or have been studying astrology and numerology aspects for over 15 years. And what I found was working with the phases of the moon was so powerful. And so I started working with this process. I was having results and success. And then in, I think, 2010, I was guided to set up a website to just offer the information to other people and kind of, put it in some context and give instructions. And the things that I'd also found on top of what I had found in my research. And then my guide said, start offering a monthly call. So I've been doing monthly calls since like 2010, I think September. So long time. And it's just amazing when we can kind of just work with the organic flow of nature. Nature has such wisdom and power in it when we really connect in. So working with the moon, or I sometimes refer to it as grandmother moon, and we think about our elders having wisdom, and we're working with the energy and the phases, it just sets us up for success ultimately. And then in the gift that I'm offering, it's a guide that gives you all the instructions. You don't have to go back to the website all the time. You can print this out. It's only 11 pages. I tried to keep it concise because when I get ebooks, I don't want to print out a 50 or 100-page ebook. So I tried to keep the nuts and bolts of what's important to this right within this 11 pages, including some where you can print out some checks. I did a couple of purple and green are my colors. So I did one of the checks in purple, and that way you have them if something happens. It also gives you for 2023 all of the dates, the signs.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, of everything. But the good thing is once you get this ebook and you're on my list, you will get at new moon and full moon the best times to write your checks, because there's a thing called void of course, and that's where the moon is moving in between signs. And if we think about the energy of the moon, it's connected to the element of water, our emotions, and our emotions are a big driving factor to manifesting. I mean, if we want say, oh, I want to attract or bring this into my life, and then we don't feel good about it, do you think it's going to happen? Probably. So we want to keep the emotional aspect of things and how we're thinking and feeling about things kind of in check or in alignment with a positive outcome.
Right.
So when a moon is void of course and it's between signs, it's like flat. There's no emotional connection or energy with it. So I send out the timing, the best time to write your checks or the best time to release your checks, because at full moon, that's the time that we're surrendering, we're letting go. If you have manifested something great, you can release that check. If it's for a bigger project, dream home, dream trip, you want to keep those checks for a while. You don't have to let them go each month. You can decide when it feels time, or maybe you want to rewrite the check at the next new moon with a different aspect or spin to maybe you've kind of elevated your thinking about what it is that your heart's desire is, and you want to add a little bit to the way that you're asking for it or your focus. So you're like, okay, I'm going to release this and I know I'm going to write a new one. So it's really, the moon is switching signs about every 2.5 days. So you can always be working with the energies of the moon if you really want to get into it and learn how to do all that out. But if not, if you're just focusing on new moon, right before new moon, it's called the balsamic moon. So it's the time that's the darkness. You don't really see the moon in the sky. It's both before the sliver comes out. That's when we want to like till the garden of our manifesting and our heart's desires. Just like in the spring, we prepare the soil and add amendments or happy thoughts, etc.
Right.
We're wanting to manifest. So use the balsamic moon, and that's usually in that phase is when I offer the monthly call. I keep them very affordable because I want the most amount of people, to attend that can benefit, because not only do I talk about kind of that new moon, but then I also offer some energy healing and clearing, and then a guided meditation that's organically written each month for that particular new moon. So it's a great way to help propel yourself and move forward, attracting your heart's desires, and making sure that with the energy clearing aspect is you're clearing any blocks or energies that might be holding you back.
And we know how that goes. So that's pretty awesome. So with your main focus kind of being on these new moon checks, then you work with you could work with anybody.
Yeah, I work with people one to help them, in life in general, and helping them manifest or to get to wherever it is that they're wanting. Many people have, they've been stuck for years, for sure. And so, yeah, the main part of what I do is work with people one-on-one and do offer group calls and things like that, even though I haven't done that for a while just because of other life events.
Yeah.
But yeah, what makes my heart happy is when I really get to help other people kind of shift, and especially when something's been bogging them down or repetitive thoughts, or fill in the blank, just they're seeing a pattern of the same kind of person showing up in their life. They have issues with people at work, and then they go to another company and they end up with the same kind of issues with. So that's something within them that's still drawing or attracting or needs to shift. So that, the main focus of my work. But the new moon calls and offering this is a way that I get to be of service essentially and help a lot of people that are just using the writing process and printing out the checks, and yay, I'm happy for that. And for those that need extra help, I'm there for that too.
Yeah. And I think that what I love about doing calls, and I'm sure you have the same reaction, is it really gives people a chance to get to know who you are and what you do. And then that's just a wonderful thing too. And we get to help more people all at once. So
yes,
very, very cool stuff. So you were telling us about the new moon checks, and I know what they are. And I remember when I first came across them from you, I didn't quite get it. So can you just really quick kind of go through so what are you talking about? Like writing a check? What the heck is that? Right. That's where I didn't get what that process really is. And so
especially in these days where everything's done through our phones and debit card checks are not really a thing, but ultimately it's writing your intention down, and the check is just the vehicle, because we think about writing out a check. So we're writing a check to the universe, essentially saying, this is my heart's desire, this is what I'm asking for. instance with money, and you'll see on the website or in the book where it talks about don't ask for a specific amount, because the universe might want to give you a whole lot more. Let's say you're saying, oh, if I could only have $1,000 more a month, everything would be, it's like, but what if the universe wanted to give you $10,000 a month?
Right.
It's like, leave that part up to, let the universe handle the details, essentially. So the check is just simply a vehicle and a way to write down your intentions and the instructions on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Book 10 steps to writing your new moon checks. That's the first bit of information you're going to essentially get. And it's just a vehicle. It's just a way, if we think about the different forms of learning or asking. So writing the check is just a kinesthetic form of putting down the information. And most everyone knows the power in our thoughts and what we say and how we feel. But also, if we're writing something out, there's some power in that. And then you have your checks that you can set someplace. I suggest making up a little altar, and I talk about this on the calls. And it can be as simple as getting an envelope and making this your new moon check envelope and sticking it in your sock drawer. And in the calls, I offer the power color that aligns with that sign for the month, a moon mantra that you can add to that envelope. So go to a craft store, buy a 12 by 12 sheet, fold it into an envelope, and that becomes your new moon check for Capricorn in the month of January or December or January, because that's our new moon this Friday. So it's just a way that you're giving focused intention, because life is busy. So if you take those few minutes, you write out a check, you stick it someplace sacred, or really so you know where the heck you put it.
Right.
Because you need to know where it is. So I have a little spot in my office where I, set them, and it's like a little altar space that then I know when I want to release them, I was like, okay, I'm releasing this check or that checker or whatnot. I know exactly where it's at, so that I can full moon.
Excellent. Well, I have just kind of started using that process. And for anybody that's listening to this and you're like, that seems kind of weird, just try it. You got to try it, because you will be amazed. So thanks for being on. This was just fun. The link to DaKara's gift will be in the description or below the video, and you definitely need to get it. Just trust me.
Yeah, get it, read through it if you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you for reading it, but follow your heart. It's like, I even have a class called Embrace Your Inner Weirdo, and I've always felt like I'm just different anyway. And this, for me, in my world, is so mild. It's in comparison to, but it's like, it is very simple. You have nothing to lose. You get the gift free. Read the directions. Ask to manifest a cup of coffee. Make it simple. It doesn't have to be, something big in nature may take time, but ask for something simple. And then all of a sudden, maybe you're driving through a coffee stand and the person in front of you pays for your coffee. It's that simple, but it's really allowing you to understand the process and trusting in the universe that in time and with your own inner work, if there's blocks and whatnot, that we can manifest anything.
Yeah. Well, here's to manifesting.
Hey.
All right. Thanks for being on the call, and stay tuned for the next video, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.